sit and talk. I know that, you know, we just were chatting a little bit before taping, and to hear that you're a road warrior. So you came down from?
Albany, New York.
And you're from there?
I'm from, I was born in Albany, New York, and I grew up in New Hartford, New York, which is right outside of Utica, New York. It's about the center of the state. And then now I live back in Albany, New York, and I kind of go in between New York City and Albany, New York. Okay. So I go in between there. So when I'm touring, I usually get stationed in Albany, and right now I've been touring, so that's going to drive a little easier.
So I was checking things out that you are on tour, and isn't it so great to live in the Northeast Corridor where you can hit all these great cities? But I saw that you were actually playing in Vermont and Rhode Island, and you know, how are you finding that people are finding your music and interested in seeing you perform in these different areas where someone may say, okay, this is probably not a soul city, or you know, thinking Vermont is probably a pit stop that you would make.
Yeah, you know, I guess when I think about booking a tour, when I think about playing live shows, I just kind of think of where I want to play, you know, and I also kind of take into account where I think the best place for me to get my music out to would be, and then from there I book and I contact venues, and a lot of the places on this tour, this is really my first really bigger Northeast tour. I did a tour in January and February in the South, which I was telling you about, and it was really a wonderful experience, and I really loved it, and that was basically from Virginia all the way down to Georgia. Up and down the coast there, and I really liked it. So I thought, well, why not do the Northeast? I'm from there, and so far, so good. I really love New England, particularly, and I have some family that live in Boston, Massachusetts. So for me to go there and play and visit my friends and visit my family, it was really great, and everybody has been really receptive. So for me, it's just touring to me is just second nature. I just love to play, so I'm happy to get a chance to go and do that. Yeah.
And good music just travels well.
Absolutely, absolutely, I completely agree.
Sometimes I think we just think what people are going to receive, and people respond to good music and a connection with the artist, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, I think when I think about what I like about my favorite artists or favorite musicians, to me, it's that connection that I don't have to be there in a live setting to know that I love that music. And what I try to portray before I even get to a venue to play a live show is that this is my song, these are my songs, excuse me, and this is what I do, and that I think that carries. So when I do play a live show, people really are interested and really enjoy it, and that's what I like, and that's what I feed off of as a live musician and as a recording artist.
Yeah. Well, I took a peek at your Spotify playlist before and I saw a little bit of Otis Redding.
Big fan of Otis.
I saw John Mayer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Eclectic, and so every artist kind of takes their inspiration differently. So when you have this eclectic mix, what kind of things inspire you? Is it the purity of what they do, or are you inspired in different ways from other musical artists?
You know, when I think about what inspires me from other artists, I really love John Mayer, and I have no qualms with saying that. I know it makes me sound like a goofy kid, but I really do, and he's really the reason for me that I picked up playing the guitar and writing music, and you know, that was really important for me. So I draw a lot of inspiration from him, people like him, and is Otis Redding. I mean, it's Otis Redding.
Right.
You can't go wrong with Otis. And so I listen to these artists like John Mayer, or like Otis Redding, and I like to shake up what I listen to. A lot of the music I play is very acoustic pop music. It's very, you know, kind of in a certain way, but I like to draw from other genres to kind of make what I do stand out. And that's as far as, I guess, musical artist inspiration goes. And then other inspiration, it really just comes down to what I deal with in life. And, you know, the songs I write could be about my relationships with women, or with friends, or with family, or, you know, just growing up. You know, the one record I did, it was really about growing up and getting older and kind of becoming an adult, and whoa, that's crazy. And, you know, and now it's kind of more like falling into place and letting reality settle in and saying, oh, well, this is what life is, and this is what I probably should be doing, and trying to find myself a little bit more. So that's, my inspirations kind of go two-pronged. It's really from artists and then also from his life experience and figuring things out.
And so that makes me think about, I saw your album, Dream Schemes, Childhood Memories, and I thought, okay, well, that is a truly unique title. So is that how that came about, and thinking about letting people know this is about sharing your life experiences? Yeah, I mean, that record particularly came from writing songs early on when I first started writing music, and it kind of evolved, and some of the songs carried over from right when I kind of just started to then right when I basically finished that record, and it was about basically really being young and childish and you know, being a teenager, and then growing up and realizing that some things are a little different. There's some things, you know, a little more
you get a little moody sometimes. You deal with some certain things,
Just
a little bit, and you deal with certain things that make you grow up. And that record, even from the artwork all the way down to each song selection, was really the flow of the record goes from really being a kid to kind of growing up and realizing what it's like to potentially be an adult. Not saying that I'm not done being a kid just yet, but it was really about growing up and trying to figure out what being an adult meant to me. And so that's what that record really stands for. When I look at that record, I say, wow, this is the growth of me as a younger kid or a teenager to kind of an out-of-college adult. So yeah.
And I know we chatted a little bit to talk about even as a part of growing up, being on the road and traveling with your family for vacations and things like that. And we were kind of joking about this road warrior spirit that you have, to be able to come and do a show like this and also perform. And we talked a little bit about how artists inspire you. Does performing and the connection with artists in different areas and regions, like you talked about how you maybe cross the base and then things become real southern.
They become real southern. I think it's for me just from experience, performing in the Northeast is totally different than performing in the South. And when I come down South, I definitely really enjoy it. Almost just maybe even more so than the Northeast. It's so different. And the fans are really more receptive sometimes, and people really get into it, and they're real, like they already know about it. Like they know something I don't know, and I just show up and play, and everybody just is really into it, and it's really, really cool. And sometimes in the Northeast, I feel like you gotta persuade somebody to really get into it. But once you do, you got them booked. But in the South, what I really like about this in this region, it's just so easy to show up, and everyone goes, oh yeah, of course, we came to hear live music. I'm glad you're playing. And it's that's what I love, and I always tell people that, and that's why I'm so happy to be down just in Virginia. I mean, this is kind of the beginning of the South, as I was saying, but it's just I can already tell just from being down here. It's such a wonderful place for me to play. So I definitely notice the differences geographically, but I like to play. It doesn't really matter to me where I play as long as I'm playing. I definitely feel the connection with fans and people that come out to watch. Yeah.
And do you get the opportunity, I know with artists, you're on the road, you gotta go and you gotta move back. Do you ever get to connect with some of the other artists that are locally? It's always, great to be able to connect with people. Do you get the opportunity to do that, or is it pretty much where you go?
What I try to do, if I can, after every show that I play, wherever it is, I try to sit down and talk with people that are there, whether it's an artist that is playing after me or before me, or if it's a fan that stayed and wanted to buy a CD. For me, music is all about connection. So when I play a show and I try to, do something, and I always want to make that connection with the fan, with the other artist, because life is all about relationships.
Yes.
If I've learned anything in the 21 years I've been on this earth, and I think that relationship with a fan or with another musician or with the owner of a club or whatever, I try to really build on that. And so for me, each show is an opportunity for me to really build a relationship.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. And it is, because it's just like you never know when you may have the opportunity to collaborate with that person.
Yeah.
And just to have an appreciation and to be able to see what work they're doing.
And I mean, I know for like when I played in North Carolina not too long ago, and just because I got a chance to talk to the staff there, they were like, well, hey, we want you to come back, and they had me come back and play for them. And it's just, that's the kind of thing that I really love is when someone says, hey, we liked you so much, we want you to come back. And that to me means that I did something right.
Right.
Exactly. And that makes me happy. It makes me feel like I didn't screw it all up, and I'm happy about that. So those are the kind of things I strive for when I play a show, for sure.
And so when we come back, I want to hear a little bit more from you. We're going to be talking about kind of the independent spirit of being an artist.
Absolutely.
A lot of different things that artists are doing, crowdfunding, social media, and like you said, getting on the road, being a road warrior, and just kind of sharing a little bit about the good things and the challenges of that and what it really means to be, I don't know, to let people discover you as an independent artist. And so I want you to share a little bit more about that. So there's going to be more to come as I continue my conversation here with artist Stephen Babcock, and you are watching Beyond the Lyrics.